I'm Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer, and this is 6 tips from having a 6-month-old Belgian Malinois puppy. Yes, this is Hazel. She is 6 months old. I have been obsessed with the Belgian Malinois for years, long before those cool movies ever came out about the Malinois. But I didn't think there would ever be a chance of me having one for obvious reasons. They are a very intense working dog, and they just don't make good pets. And I still stand behind that, even now having one and having a really well-behaved one. I have learned a lot from the last few months having a 6-month-old Mal. A few things I've learned from my trainers and a few things I've just learned from the School of Hard Knocks. And I'm going to share these with you in hopes that this will be helpful for you. These 6 tips are in no order of importance. I'm just throwing them out at you. My first tip, are you ready? Exercise. It is absolutely impossible for you to be able to live life with your Malinois puppy without a lot of exercise. And I know that every dog needs a lot of exercise, but a Malinois is times 10 on everything. So be prepared to exercise your Mal a lot. When I got Hazel and she was 5 months old, she was already doing 3, 4, 5 mile runs, and it wasn't even phasing her. Hazel gets anywhere from 4 to 7 miles a day of walking and running. We run 3 of the 7 miles, and then we walk 4 of the 7 miles. As I'm recording this video, I'm training for a bodybuilding competition in March of 2023. And so I have to do a lot of walking. Well, she goes along with me. And the way I like to put it is the difference between a good day and a bad day with Hazel is whether we get that 3-mile run in at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. right off the bat. That 3-mile run in the morning, rain, shine, ice, sleet, it doesn't matter. That seems to be the catalyst for having a very smooth day and getting the wigglies out and just starting off the day right. So exercise is absolutely key. Just when you think you're doing enough, you need to do more. This dog is going to need a tremendous amount of exercise. You cannot expect its puppy to be able to behave and mind the rules of the household if he or she is going stir crazy. So be prepared to exercise the living crap out of your Malinois. Tip number 2, you're going to have to learn how to kennel train. I don't know how you feel about kennel training or crate training, however you want to say it. And I can't believe there are dog owners out here who leave your puppy out, a regular puppy, out of the kennel, let alone a Belgian Malinois out of the kennel. It's absolutely not an option. You have to kennel this dog. They are incredibly destructive. And it's just the way they are. They're just high intensity dog. And a kennel is not cruel. A kennel is like a playpen for a baby. Now, I don't believe in leaving your Mal in for, and a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but I don't believe in leaving the Malinois or any dog in a kennel for long periods of time. But if you are not going to be home, that dog needs to be kennelled. No questions about it. At night when you sleep, I don't know what your sleeping arrangement is. That dog needs to be kennelled. Now, I live alone, and Hazel sleeps with me. And she does just fine. She doesn't have accidents in the house. She doesn't get off the bed. She's really a good sleeper. She sleeps right next to me, and I've got a blanket on the bed. It works out just fine. But that wasn't until pretty recently. She was kennelled at night. I don't use fancy kennels. I just have a regular kennel that is just wire and it's big enough for her. And I only kennel her a very small amount of time if I'm not, we're talking an hour at most a day. Other than that, the dog goes everywhere with me. And I have a life that allows her to be able to do that. She goes everywhere with me. She goes on the airplane. She goes in stores. She goes everywhere with me. She's by my side 24/7. The dog very rarely leaves my side. So kenneling is always minimal. So you do need to put her in a kennel, your Malinois in a kennel. Don't expect this dog to be able to mind the manners of your house when they're this young. Perhaps later on they can grow into that and you guys can come to an arrangement. Not yet. You're going to need to have this dog in a kennel when not being supervised. Number 3, biting. Oh my gosh. Look, we all know it. Malinois are bred to bite. I thought I knew this. I thought I understood what this meant until I got a Malinois puppy. Let me tell you, the biting never stops, and it's constant. And the dog is not being malicious. She's not being harmful. She's not trying to hurt me. It is just in them to bite all day, every chance they get, they're biting. When I'm walking by her and I'm just swinging my arms like normal by my side, she's biting me. If I'm just picking up something, reaching to pick up something, she's gonna bite my hand. Normally they don't actually clamp down with some pressure. They'll just catch the edge of your skin. If it hurts, they've caught the edge of your skin. But these dogs are bred to bite. You need to understand that it's not just the bite work that you see when they're doing law enforcement, when they're doing bite work, when they're doing competitions. They bite all the time anyway. It's not, again, it's not being mean. Maybe not, I know for her, she's not being mean or malicious, and we love each other. She's not doing that with me. It's just in them to constantly bite. And I didn't realize that this was such a big deal. So what I would suggest and what I've learned to do is stay out of their way when it comes to biting. If you see them playing, if you see them sleeping, leave them alone. If you see them playing with a toy and you're gonna reach down to get it, understand you are putting your hand near that dog where she is playing with that toy, and there's a good chance you're gonna get your hand bit. So steer clear of their mouth. And again, you might be watching this video, you might be a trainer. I don't know who you are. Like, listen, I'm a weight loss coach. I'm not a trainer. I'm just telling you what I've gone through with my puppy since I've gotten her. And so just steer clear of their mouth, steer clear of the tendencies they have. That's kind of what I've done. I'm not dying on that bridge. I'm not sitting here saying like, stop biting. There's no way you're gonna get this dog to stop biting. You need to work with them. If they are in that playful mode or if they're in that biting mode, teach them an out command. She has her out command. Teach them when it's time to calm down. But be careful when you reach toward them and they are in that biting mode and they're in that playing mode. It is your fault if you get bit. So be careful with the biting. It's incredibly intense, and I had no idea it was I thought I was prepared. I wasn't prepared. This is what I'm talking about with the biting. See, it's constant. And if it gets too much, by the way, I say, ouch, out, good girl. And then I'm gonna give her a reward for letting go of my hand. Good girl. My next one would be keep a harness on your puppy. Now, I am not a fan of harnesses. A harness promotes pulling, and I'm not a fan. However, we wanna keep that pressure off their neck as much as possible for as long as possible. So having a harness on your puppy not only is gonna enable you to be able to move your puppy out of the way, maybe pick them up and move them when you're on a walk and they're kind of veering towards traffic because they don't understand, you're gonna be able to pick them up safely and move them around. I mean, the puppy is small. She's only 35 pounds right now. Puppies are small, and you can maneuver them pretty easily like a basket of bread, And so keep a harness on your puppy. Also, it really enables you to be able to grab onto that puppy when that puppy got a hold of a sock or a kitchen towel or something that he or she is not supposed to have. You're going to be able to grab onto that harness, and there's just more places to grab, and you're going to be able to control your puppy much easier. And then another thing with the harness is I always carry, once in a while, I carry Hazel over my shoulder. And it's just kind of a fun little thing we do. I might pick her up, throw her over my shoulder, and then I hang on to that. I hang on to her by the harness. And it gives me places to hang on. So I would keep your puppy in a harness. I have a harness for running that we do, and that just makes it to where if for some reason she pulls on the leash, I'm not pulling on that neck. I have a harness hanging up back there that is one that I use for going into public with her. And it says, in training, do not pet. And the harness like that allows you to put patches on it and different things. You want to put her name, like I've got her name on her collar right now, Hazel. And so I'm really a big firm believer in keeping a harness on your Malinois just for control purposes, not for teaching them to walk on a leash. I don't think that's right. I don't think a dog should walk on a harness. I have a Hermspringer pinch collar that I use with her. I tried to just go to a regular collar, and she just wasn't minding the pressure. And so I just went straight to a pinch collar. She hates it, but she handles really, really well. So I have a leash that is a double clip leash. The one end of the clip clips to her harness, the one that you see hanging up right back there, and the other goes to her pinch collar, and I hardly ever put pressure on that pinch collar. I'm always putting pressure if I just need to move her out of the way of somebody in the elevator, or maybe out of the way of a pile of puke on the ground. I can use the pressure on from the harness. That's just what I do. I really try not to touch that pinch collar at all unless I absolutely need to. And she walks beautifully right by my side. She's got a real good heel. My next tip is child-proof your house. Again, maybe an obvious one for some of you, but I thought I had my house child-proofed enough, and it wasn't. I'm talking about especially lids on the garbage cans. Just save yourself the hassle of fighting with your Mal and cover up those garbage cans. They get into everything, and they have to be supervised all the time. Now, Hazel and I have been together now a few months, and we've really got our rules worked out for the condo and my other house, and we have a really good routine going. And so she knows what she can and can't chew. She doesn't chew things anymore. She doesn't chew up. But they will chew everything. I mean, if it's a charger coming out of the wall, consider it destroyed. It will be destroyed. It'll be destroyed like that. It's amazing how quickly they can destroy something in a matter of under a minute, seconds, something can be destroyed. They are incredibly destructive. I've never seen anything like it. So do yourself a favor, instead of fighting with them, put things up on the counter, move things away from the edge, because they will jump up on the counter to get things. They're amazingly agile. And put lids on your garbage cans. I noticed, like, dryer sheets, for example. She's getting dryer sheets, Q-tips that for my makeup. She's getting things out of the garbage cans constantly. So I just went on Amazon. I ordered little mini garbage cans with little lids on it, pushed a little pedal, opened the lid, and I wish I would have done it in the beginning, because it would have saved me so much heartache of just being so mad all the time. I was mad, like, Hazel, why did you do that? I was always yelling at her for that. Honey, I'm not yelling at you now. It's okay. I'm just talking to the camera. Yeah. She's very sensitive. So it's very important to make sure that you child-proof your house. Like, for example, my area rug here at my condo. You can't see this, but I have a huge area rug. I rolled it up for a long time, and I put it in the corner. I put everything up that could be chewed or ruined, and I watched her 24/7. She was never allowed to be unsupervised, because it just takes a second for her to grab something and chew it. I have very limited toys for her. I have a tug. I have something for her to chew on for her mouth, and that's it. I don't have baskets and baskets of toys. I don't believe in that. I just don't believe in having a lot of variety for them, because how are they going to know the difference between that and a shoe? And I haven't had any shoes chewed up, because I stopped that right away. For her, she responds really well to like that kind of real loud I don't I don't say words that kind of thing, but that stops her in her track. I haven't had any problems with her chewing up my stuff. I really haven't, but that's because I redirect her with toys. I make sure she has adequate exercise during the day. I make sure that she's always kennelled if I cannot supervise her. Like if I'm on a podcast or if I'm on a meeting, she's kennelled. I'm not gonna be mad at her because she's looking for things to do around my house. That is my fault, not hers. So I'm controlling the situation as much as possible. My sixth tip from 6-month-old Malinois puppy is have treats on you at all times. Now, let me show you what I use. I use a fanny pack. I think the kids nowadays call them a crossbody bag. This fanny pack is great, and what I do, it even has my Glock in it. Let me take that out. What I do is I have it like this, and I keep in this very front zippy are all the treats. Okay, and in the second zippy, my keys, and the third zippy, my phone. And then I can also keep poopy bags in there, and I keep this on me at all times. So my hands are free. I've got leash right here, and then I always, always, always have a kibble in my fingers. Always. Look, this dog is incredibly intelligent. The second most intelligent dog on the planet? Incredibly intelligent, and she will learn easily if you have reinforcements, so she knows she's looking for that treat. They will learn very, very quickly if you can reinforce the good behavior, man. And they'll learn it like within 1 or 2 times. It's amazing how quick they'll learn. Have treats ready to reinforce good behavior. I live at the top of a high-rise hotel. I own a condo at the top. We ride the elevator 8 times a day at least, and she has to stay in between my feet in the elevator. She cannot, because we have people all around her. People step on her tail. People are always going, oh, look at that dog. Can I pet? You know, and she's got to pay attention to me constantly all the time. I keep this treat right here, and I keep her nose up. Now she knows when we get in the elevator, she swings her little butt right between my legs, and she sits right there and doesn't move, even if the doors open up. And I reward her with that treat. Reward constantly. But even if you're walking around the house and you have your fanny pack on, and she does something, she drops something she shouldn't be chewing on, you give her the out command. You say out, and she spits it out. Man, right there, you got a treat right there. I would keep this on me all the time if I were you. For a dog that is not actually a working dog, not working right now as a working dog, this is why I've gotten such great results, because I constantly train, constantly reward. Always. So I'm going to reward her for just sitting here nice. I don't know. I'm always rewarding her. So I would keep this fanny pack on you. I got this off Amazon for like $5. And I have a silver one. It's a little bigger. It can hold my wallet. I have this one. And like I said, this one's big enough to hold even a Glock 43, if that's what you want. This is not a pet. You should not get this dog for a pet. I am not a trainer, and I am not using her for work. However, the reason I can make this work is because I am training her more in the style of what a working dog is. I work very closely with her breeders, Arsenal Canine, and the dog company Arsenal Canine, a company in Canada that works both in Canada and United States. Jenna and Jason Arsenal, they're excellent. I daily check in with them. Almost daily send them training videos of what we're working on next. I train her constantly through the day. It is a sacrifice to have a Belgian Malinois. This is the dog for me. Look, I mean, this is the dog for me, 100%. I love this dog, and I love her. She's a really good match for me, and I hope we're together, God willing, and the creek don't rise for years and years and years until Jesus takes me home. But it is a sacrifice. And it takes hours of commitment a day. I run my own company. I work from home. I have structured my life to where she can go with me everywhere. She can be by my side, and that I have ample time to train her. She is my top priority, and that's the way it has to be when you get a Malinois. Guys, I don't know how people with kids do it. I don't know how people with major commitments in their life, I don't know how they have a Belgian Malinois. You need to understand this before getting into this breed. They're incredibly loyal, very highly intelligent, very agile, very athletic. They're an incredible breed, but it is going to be a sacrifice for you. You need to know that this is a huge commitment and cannot be taken lightly. If you have the lifestyle to have this dog, great. We get up at 4 a.m. and we run. I hand feed her raw, by the way. She eats raw. She eats a raw food diet. I hand feed her. I do not feed her in a bowl. She has to earn her food with commands. We are training constantly. I really want you to get this, that this is not a pet, and this should not be just because you saw Channing Tatum on the movie Dog do this whole thing. Do you guys know that Channing had to live with those 3 dogs that they used in that film? They used 3 different dogs for one dog in the film, but they used 3 different dogs as actors. He had to live with them for almost a year just to get those dogs to trust him so he could do this movie with them. This is not a pet. Please understand that. Know what you're doing before you get this dog. I happen to have gotten a great one. She was pulled from the canine police training program because she's just way too sweet. She doesn't have that aggressive nature, but let me tell you, she still has all the qualities of a Belgian Malinois, and it is very, very, very intense to have her in my life. I'm committed. She's turning into a great dog for me, but that's because I spend hours a day training her. So I hope these 6 tips helped from 6 months with my Malinois puppy. I hope they helped. I hope you learned something. Learn from my mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. There are plenty of really, really great dogs out there that make great family pets that might be a better fit for you. Know what you're getting into before you get one of these. Make sure that you go to a reputable breeder. Make sure that you are just make sure you know what you're doing before you get this dog, because it was quite a shock. I thought I was well prepared, and I was still really shocked. Okay, I hope this helped. Have a good one.